So I think most of us can relate to this, maybe not fully agree, but at least agree to an extent. Bad things happen to good people all the time. Most of us may be a victim of some particular circumstance. You may experience considerable harm as a result of a crime or an accident or other event or action. It happens. You try to do everything right, and then all of a sudden, randomly, something happens out of the blue that's completely out of your control and, takes away some of that security and freedom that you have. Happens all the time to everyone. And it's important that we set some guidelines or some guardrails as to how somebody may identify as a victim, which I'm sure at some point in our lives, this has happened. Any one of these 4 criteria has happened to all of us. So let's define victim for the purpose of this class, because we're going to see how it ties into our concepts on self-responsibility. So if any of these 4 criteria are met, then yes, someone would identify as a victim. First one's pretty easy. I think most of us can agree. Any of those rights or freedoms are taken away from you? Yes, 100%. And the second one, a law is broken against them, is very closely tied to that, because part of the rights that you have are legal rights. You have the right to life, liberty, and security of the person. So this is very closely linked to the first one. So if anybody steals, assaults you, commits fraud, yes, you would be identified as a victim. 3 and 4 is where we start to see the gray area come in a little bit. So this one here, diagnosed with an illness and or injury. So some of you might be thinking, okay, so why is that one up here? And the answer is, some of you may know someone who was diagnosed with a chronic illness. I think of cancer. I think of, diabetes. I think of many other illnesses and injuries that are out there. I must ask you, do you think anybody asks to get cancer? Or somebody is purposely doing things to get cancer? And I would say I'm sure maybe there is a random situation where that's possible, but when it comes to illness and injury, especially chronic illnesses that show up, you would definitely be categorized as a victim of, say it's cancer that you're diagnosed with and takes you or a loved one. Many of us have probably had a loved one who was diagnosed with something, and the outcome certainly was something that they weren't trying for, and in many cases preventable. And in some cases not. Either way, that also falls into the category of a victim. 4th one is where it's the most gray. So defined as not the cause of a harmful situation and under no obligation to prevent the harm. I want to emphasize no obligation. So I mean 0, not 0.001, 0 obligation to prevent the harm. So what are some examples of this? Can someone think of an example of an individual not the cause of a harmful situation and under no obligation to prevent the harm? 0. What would that look like?
Maybe some kind of like a train accident or something, or a building collapse or a natural disaster.
Yeah, you hit 3 of them. Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. So natural disasters would be 1. So you are under no obligation to stop a tornado or a hurricane or a flood. You're not under any obligation to do that as an individual. That's absolutely not. The building collapses on you. So other way, I'll maybe modify that slightly. Say you're walking along the sidewalk, minding your own business, and then a piece of a roof falls down and hits you in the head. That would also completely not be your fault. You are not responsible for making sure that proper building codes are followed. You're in a car and you're at a red light, and then all of a sudden someone smashes into you from behind. You are not under any obligation to prevent another driver from not hitting you in the case like that. So those are just 3 examples right off the bat. You could also argue that certain cases, I've had some individuals talk about, other traumatic events, like you're in the middle of a mass shooting in extreme cases, or you underwent, pretty serious forms of abuse when you were as a child or older, yes, I would say those are more closely linked to 1 and 2, because those are technically violations of your rights as an individual. But you could maybe argue both. Either way, yes, falls into the category. Does that make sense? Are we doing okay so far? Okay. So you might be thinking, why are we spending so much time talking about this? Well, because it's important to kind of set a standard as we talk about wellness going forward. So one of the things that often happens is you get an individual who meets one of those 4 criteria. They meet one, and the individual, when they are indeed a victim of a crime or of a circumstance that was completely out of their control, they are held either completely at fault or partially at fault for that. And that is the term victim blaming. Has anybody ever heard of this term before? Perhaps? Yeah, so this term actually popped up in the 70s and became pretty popular during some of the events happening typically in the States, and used to justify racism and other social injustice. And in today's day and age, a lot of the times this is used during cases of assault, particularly sexual assault, which can be pretty serious. Can anybody think of any other examples of this, where an individual is a victim as defined in this course, yet they're either partially blamed or fully blamed? I'd like to ask. Sometimes people have other ideas or thoughts, but I think most of us get that. It happens. And in this course, I'm hoping you get the hint that that is not okay. And that is not something that is aligned with wellness whatsoever. If you are a victim as defined by those criteria, then you are. There's no blaming the victim. So let's do a couple of scenarios, and then we'll take our first break for today. So here's Sam on his way home from work. Was in a hurry to watch an episode of Vikings. Anybody who used to watch that show? Yeah? Great show. Anyways, it's too bad it's over now. Tossed his bag onto the back seat of his car on the way home, stopped at the grocery store to buy food, locked his car, but forgot to roll up the window on his side. So he left his windows open. Locked the car, but windows were open. Came back, and his bag was gone. So I ask you, going back to your phone, is Sam a victim based on the criteria we established in this class? Okay, so whenever we're going to have a few of these questions throughout this course, and let's maybe for reference put up our criteria that need to be met. So there were 4 that we talked about. Does anybody remember what they are? What's the big one?
Rights and freedoms violated.
Yeah, that's the big one. Okay. Second one is pretty darn close to the first one. It's sort of a subset, which I'll just... Sorry? Yeah. Oh, sure, I like that. So law violated in some way towards you. And again, very closely linked to your legal rights. Third one we discussed. Illness or injury. And then the fourth one is the sort of gray area one where was the directly harmed by something and under zero obligation to prevent harm. Okay, so in Sam's case, are any of these met? Most of you said yes. So if you say yes, it means you think that one of these was hit. Which one? Number 2. Yeah. Bingo. His bag was stolen. That's theft. Beep. Victim. Absolutely. Now, Ivan, you mentioned something earlier. So what if I were to say, well, Sam, you left your window open. You were just asking to get your bag stolen. What's that an example of?
Victim blaming.
That's victim blaming. Yeah. again, just because Sam left his window open, it doesn't give somebody the right to go in and take your stuff. You don't get that, period. Good. All right, let's go into another one. So we have Jen, athlete, dietitian, so somebody who clearly takes pretty good care of their physical health. Routine exam from the doctor, and they discovered a cancerous tumor. And the doctor told Jen that she's got stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And if you know anything about pancreatic cancer, that is not good news. So, using the same analogy, is Jen a victim in this scenario? Yep, this one's pretty straightforward, so I'm assuming many of you probably zeroed in on that. Pretty clear-cut case. I don't think we're going to argue that too much. Moving on. So we got a couple more scenarios, and then we're going to take a break. So Carly smoked a pack of cigarettes every day for the past 15 years. One day she gets chest pain, goes to the doctor, checks things out. She's got stage 2 lung cancer. So, based on that scenario, a little bit different. Is Carly a victim? Okay. So this is where things get fun. So the scenario in this case was Carly was clearly, based on what we just read, longtime smoker. So again, when we're talking about is she a victim, we have to go back to our criteria. Are any of these met? This one's met. So if we're trying to keep things objective, we would then say yes. Yeah, Carly's a victim. She got lung cancer. It's that straightforward. Yeah. So in this case, we're talking about we're talking about lung cancer. And I can totally understand why some of you might think, Carly basically asked for this, right? When she's smoking cigarettes for 15 years and got a cancer diagnosis. I mean, how could you not see that coming? Yeah, so a few points mentioned here. I'm going to make it a little bit more simple. So the reason why, there's two reasons why, in this case, Carly would be a victim. Number two, because again, we're trying to stick to these criteria, and technically this one's met. So yes. Now, the other thing I'll say for those who are thinking, why wouldn't Carly know about this and know about the dangers of smoking? So there is a tremendous amount of evidence to suggest that smoking cigarettes is going to lead to lung cancer. There's a lot of evidence. I think it's hard to argue. However, there are cases where there are individuals who never smoke a cigarette in their life and then they end up developing lung cancer through another means. There are also other individuals who do end up smoking cigarettes and never get lung cancer. It's not definitive. There's strong evidence that there's a link. It's not 100% definitive though. I mean, if you ask most people in the medical community, there's a general consensus, but it's not 100%. And for this course in particular, as it relates to wellness, we really want to try to stick to these, even when it's a little funny. Because at the end of the day, Carly also didn't ask to get lung cancer. She didn't probably very, if you asked to get lung cancer, not sure what to say. So either way, we want to try to stay linked to those criteria, even when it can get a bit tricky. Okay, stay with me. We're almost on break time. This is a fun one. So we got Roger, decided to walk around downtown London at 3 a.m. on a Saturday night. Thought it'd be cool to wave a $100 bill around and shout out, "I'm so rich" at the same time. So about 10 minutes later, he was confronted by 3 men dressed in black, had his money and had his phone taken. Just like the last 3. Is Roger a victim? Hey, not bad, everybody. I always get one that wants to fall into that no category. Okay, so whenever we get a question like this, we have to go back to our criteria. Are any of these met? Yeah, theft. can't just take stuff that doesn't belong to you. That's not allowed, regardless of the circumstances. I'm sure many of us were reading that scenario, and you may have been thinking to yourself, like, Roger, come on, man. Like, what? Like, really? Like, why are you doing that? Fair point. And that is another discussion we could get into, and we may get into a little later in today's class. However, just because Roger chose to do that doesn't mean people have the right to take his stuff. That's just not allowed, regardless. So, yeah, he is. Pretty straightforward. I'm glad I don't have to explain that too much. Everybody got it. I'm going to let you read this, and this is where we're going to take our first break, because as you know, not all scenarios are cut and dry. So I'll let you read this scenario. I'll read it out quickly, and then we'll give you 10 minutes to sit on this a little bit before we dive into it. So we have Maya running a campus booth advocating for free post-secondary tuition, posters, pamphlets, a sign, you name it. So while she was speaking with other people, a man that she's never met before walks up to the booth and says, "That's the dumbest idea ever. You should be ashamed of yourself." He then insults her personally, calling her a gross fat pig. So Maya becomes furious and humiliated, and in the heat of the moment, she yells, "I'm going to find you after my shift and make you regret this," and spits at him. And the campus police are called. This is interesting. What do you think? Let's talk about it in 10 minutes.